Welcome, everyone. This is Mike Dotterer, and you're on the dot. And I'm really excited tonight. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was really blessed to attend the Major League Baseball winter meetings, which they hold every year, and it's been happening for decades and decades. And I wish my dad were here because he was a Major League Baseball player, and he would have had a lot of fun talking to a lot of great people here in Nashville. And I was very lucky. My first night at the winter meetings, I bumped into this man behind me, and you can see Ryan Hanigan. Ryan is a former Major League player, and what a great guy. And he introduced me to his friend who he's mentoring, Craig Corliss. And I'm going to bring him on right now to just share their story. Just want to shout out that this portion of On the Dot is being brought to you by Anacia, which is a company called To Be Kind. And I'll flash it on the bottom here so you can check out To Be Kind. Anacia helps me stay young because I've got shoulder issues, knees, back, ankles, feet. And Anacia is fantastic for any ailments. So I'll flash it down at the bottom at To Be Kind. And if you're interested, you can check it out. So without further ado, I want to bring on Ryan Hanigan. And Ryan, then he's going to talk about his background, where he grew up, how he became a Major League Baseball player, and the great position of catcher. My father was a catcher. And today, December 7th, is Johnny Bench's birthday. So, Ryan, let me bring you on the stage here. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. Great to see you again, brother.
Well, it's great to have you on the dot and to celebrate not only Johnny Bench's birthday, which is today, but your father's birthday.
Right. Yeah, that's something that I don't think I knew that it was Johnny Bench's birthday was the same day as my father's. And yeah, I've been in the Reds organization a lot of my career and was very fortunate to meet, know, and also work with Johnny Bench. Man, what a player, what a presence, the knowledge he brings. He's been around that organization a long time. And, I always strive to, when I played, represent that position as well as I could. And Johnny's, the highest standard out there. So he's a great guy. He always helped me. I got a chance to see him this summer when Bronson Arroyo got inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame, and they brought back all the Hall of Famers there. And it's a special place. Cincinnati, they have, they treat their former players well. And we always, enjoy going back there and seeing those guys and talking baseball. And yeah, so happy birthday, Johnny. Thanks for everything you ever did for me, man. You've been a great friend, a great mentor, a great leader. And obviously you're a legend in the game. So, Mike, when I got a chance to meet Mike this week, his father played for the Reds as a catcher, a few years before Johnny, I found out, which is, serendipitous that we came together. So I felt like I was obliged to come on, and my man Mike's been great. He's such an athlete himself, former NFL player, drafted 3 times, and a super passionate baseball man. So, yeah, it all came together. And, my dad's birthday, I love my pops. I wouldn't have been anywhere without him, his knowledge, what he taught me, so much work back in the day, trying to help me get better as a player. And it's his birthday as well. So love you, Dad. Happy birthday. Obviously I already talked to him today, but this is just a little shout out. And yeah, man. So from my perspective, I'm not going to go through a huge breakdown of my career. We'd be here a lot, but bottom line is I was a guy that had to work for everything I got, and that only made me a better player. I was really fortunate to get involved in the Reds organization as a young player out of the Cape Cod League. They saw something in me. I had a good summer, and I went straight to A-ball and had a good journey through their organization, learned a lot along the way. And then, I just a fantastic experience in the big leagues with them. I was very proud of my time there. We made the playoffs in 10, 12, and 13. And I was, me and a lot of those guys there are still really good friends. I was at Reds Fest this weekend, and it was great, continuing to talk baseball, talk about the past, and the future. That young team they have is fantastic. They're dynamic. So, for me, I had a good career after that. I played in Tampa Bay for a year, and then I got a chance to come home and play with the Red Sox for a couple of years. And then I went out and played with the Rockies for a year. So I had a good run. I was always passionate about the game and catching. And now that I'm a former player, I'm, looking forward to, kind of getting back into the game and helping some of these guys in the catching position and how it's evolving. It's pretty interesting what's going on. And, there's a lot of great guys out there, great organizations doing well with their teams and with their catching. So it's important to kind of be flexible and understand how the game's working these days. But for me, yeah, man, I mean, the catchers fraternity, we're all, my man Craig's here. He came, he's a kid from the Northeast that I'm trying to help out, man. He's earned his stripes. He's put in the time. He works hard. He understands what it takes, and he's getting it done on the field. Baseball's not an easy game to get where you're trying to go. It takes a lot of dedication. And so, anything he can have in his support system, that's what I'm trying to provide for him. And, we went to the winter meetings together. He got a bunch of, talked to a bunch of teams, got some tryouts, got a good look for his future next year. And, I'll be in his corner. But at the same time, he knows how it goes. He's earned it himself. He's done his work, put in his time, and he's trying to look for an opportunity, just like most of us ever were in the game. Shoot, Mike, what's going on? Did it cut out? No worries.
I'm entering the studio again. Hold
Okay.
on. Let's see if I can do this. Enter the studio. Okay, I'm in the studio. There we go. Oh,
Sorry. All right. Well, Ryan.
I don't know if I cut out or we both cut out.
No, you know what? That's technology for you. But hopefully at some point we'll be able to cut this up. But in any event,
No worries.
Ryan, what? Let me just ask you, what was it? I mean, there's kids out there that, and we're going to bring Craig on in a little bit here, because obviously he's someone that aspires to reach the major league level. What was the key for you to go from youth baseball to the major leagues? What tips would you give a young player out there that would like to get to the major leagues? What are the things that you think are essential?
Number one is drive. It's for sure drive, will, desire. You have to go all in terms of everything, your commitment to your training, your commitment to learning and getting better. I mean, production, you have to have the skill set to understand the type of player you could potentially be and on work to become a professional, being consistent. It's hard, it's not like everyone's different. Pitchers, catchers, position players, there's room. What I would say is don't pigeonhole yourself into one type of player. Learn to be an athlete, learn to be a baseball player, learn the game, learn to be a winning player, do the right things, work hard. I know those are all cliches, but baseball, you play every day. It's a long season. You get your chances when you're doing things the right way. And there's a lot of information out there now in terms of sabermetrics, analytics, numbers. There's lots of training tools, and I think there's a lot of value in a lot of those things, but nothing is going to be traded for hard work and just pure, dedication to your routine. Starting at a young age, the talent level out there is amazing. The international game, these kids are, like I was passionate about baseball ever since I was 8 years old. And so, I think, always be working to get better. And, got to enjoy it. Bottom line is you got to enjoy it as well. You know, I always loved competing. I loved the game. I loved learning the game. You know, it's every kid's dream to want to get there, but you got to be pragmatic about your dreams and try and find ways to make them come to fruition. And that was something I was helped with as a young guy, and something I'm trying to give back to the game.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there. You gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
And you have a passion for baseball. There's no doubt about it. When I first shook your hand the other night, I just felt the energy. So with that, I think we, you know, as you can see behind me, I've got Craig's pictures here.
Yeah, I'd be happy to introduce him. You know,
Perfect.
I mean, Craig's one of the dudes up here that found me. I worked at a few facilities, and I try and offer my services to guys that I see potential in. You know, and he's an upper level athlete. What I saw was pure catching ability and skill right out of the gate at pretty high level competitive baseball. Being a former catcher, I could see he looks the part, receives well, blocks well, throws well, which, you know, pretty much most catchers in the big leagues do. That's only your starting point. Obviously, you want to be the best receiver, the best blocker, the best catch and throw guy. That's always your goal. That's how I trained. And then he bought in. He came along with me, and I started to show him the workouts, the way to train, how to, you know, improve your body, explosion, flexibility, arm strength, stamina. And he's been putting in the time the last 3 years. You know, he's got a pro body now. He's in great shape, hungry, ready to go. And yeah, I mean, he wanted to come out of the winter meetings, and I think it only motivated him. All he kept saying was how, you know, much more drive, and not that he needed it, but just it's inspiration. Anything you can see, he sees it. He sees where these guys are. He talks to big league players. He gets even more passionate about trying to get where he wants to get. And, you know, he's got to earn it. You know, there's no shortcuts, but, you know, anytime you can have a support system to give him some opportunity. And that's what we're looking for, some workouts, which I think we got some good lines on, some free agent workouts, some opportunities for him to play next year. And yeah, we can't wait to kind of tap into some of the people we talk to down there, and he's going to be continuing to work out and be ready. And yeah, we're going to put it together for my man Craig.
Well, Craig, that's a great introduction. I was just so excited when I met both of you, both catchers, and right there at the first day of the winter meeting. So, Craig, what are your thoughts? I mean, just share a little bit about where you came from and where you are today and where you want to go.
Yeah, that's Ryan pretty much nailed it. I was up in a facility outside of Boston working out one day, and I was in there with a couple of my buddies, and my buddy goes, that's Ryan Hanigan over there. He caught for the Sox for a while, and I was like, oh, wow, like he was the guy that I found out when I was a young kid coming up, that he was a catcher from Massachusetts that's had a really good career in the big leagues, and I've been a catcher my whole life, so I've always idolized catchers, anybody. And then I found out this guy grew up about a half hour away from me in Massachusetts, and I was like, oh, he can do it. That means I can do it. And Ryan's really taken me under his wing with the mental skills and just like my game, catching, my body, everything. So he's really helped me and grow as a person and as a player. And I always feel like I didn't have anybody in my corner before. I felt like I was doing this all on my own, and I didn't really have the proper guidance and stuff like that. But with Ryan, I feel like whenever I have a question about something or something that goes on during the season, most importantly, you know, hey, how would you handle this situation? Or what do you think about this? Or just talk to him about hitting or something. I feel like I always get back on track and ready to go. But at the end of the day, it is my career. He can't do it for me. I got to do it for myself. But it's good to have somebody in there always talking to and talking shop.
Well, you know, I remember when I played college baseball many, many years ago, and I played against a guy named Rich Amaral. I don't know if you ever heard of Rich Amaral, but he was a player at UCLA, and I don't know if he got drafted or not, but he wanted to really play the game, and he went into professional baseball. You know, at I think age 21. That's when you graduate. You went to Siena College, right?
I did, yeah. That was my first stop in the journey. I committed to Siena as a junior. At the time, they were one of the first programs in the Northeast to have an indoor training facility. A lot of other Northeast Division I schools didn't have that. So they had a donor donate, I think, $4.5 million to build an indoor training facility. I went up and saw that, and my thoughts always, how can I get better? How can I improve? And that made my decision to go there a lot easier. And then COVID happened. My coach decided to leave, and I transferred back home to UMass Boston. And that was the best thing that happened to me. I had 3 really great years, put myself on the map, really, met Ryan. And I'm a Boston kid, so being back in Boston around a lot of my friends and family and doing it in a city that I really love was important to me.
Well, I was just, as you know, whatever you do in life, it's a process. And, I was mentioning Rich Amaral, and he signed a professional baseball contract, and he didn't get to the major leagues until I think he was 30 or 31 years old. So he was in the minors for 9-10 years. But he just, as Ryan said, he has that passion for the game.
Well, I can relate to that. I mean, I had 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit of 7 in the minor league. So I had a long minor league career, and I think it helped me establish myself as a game calling catcher. You got enough reps, enough experience, work the staff. So it really allowed me to slide into the big leagues and be prepared to help teams win. And so, not everyone's path the same. Obviously, everyone wants to get to the big leagues as quickly as they can. But, there's something to be said for learning the game, putting in the time, and being ready when you get your chance. And, for catchers, it's one of those positions where, it's hard to the experience you get in catching guys in the minor leagues and acquiring innings and accumulating innings. It's invaluable. And so, guys gotta realize that, it is what it is, and you just got to be ready for the workload. And I think catchers understand, once they get a full pro season under their belt, what the workload's going to be. And, he's ready for that. So my man, that's how you got to train for it mentally and physically, and go out there and be ready to go. You got to bring it every day, every day.
Right. Well, I just want to thank both of you guys for coming on. And what we do on the dot is obviously we wished Johnny Bench happy birthday. We wish your father happy birthday, Ryan. And for anyone else out there, it's his birthday today, December 7th, which is, as Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, a day that would go down in infamy because it was Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah.
But I just, and thanks to all those veterans out there, thank you so much for your service. But what we do on the dot is you guys get to have the last word. And, this is being broadcast on, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah, sure.
There's young kids out there that are listening, and you guys get the last word. So what I'd like you to do is I'm going to take myself off, and don't hang up, but you get to close the show up. And again, I want to thank you both for being on the dot, and maybe we can get you on the dot, sometime right before spring training.
I'd love to. Yeah, sure. I mean, it was a pleasure running into you, meeting you. You're just a great dude, great presence. Your life story has been so interesting to learn about, as is everybody's. But I mean, being an athlete, I can feel your passion for baseball. So it's been a pleasure. And my man Craig's super. We're both glad that you reached out and are trying to help him in his journey through anything you've done. And first and foremost, for sure, want to wish Johnny Bench a happy birthday and my dad a happy birthday. And just a pleasure to come on.
Yeah, it's been really cool meeting you, Mike. It was funny to see your Super Bowl ring and talk to you about being a winning player and how much winning meant to you and your experiences through playing baseball and your dad's experiences, and just seeing you at the winter meetings. Like, that was just really cool. We met a lot of cool people that were there, former players and stuff like that. It was a really awesome experience, and we were glad we bumped into you early on in the trip, and look forward to hopefully seeing you soon. And the winter meetings is quite an event if someone hasn't gone before, to go down and see what it is with all the media and all former players, general managers, teams and stuff. It's one of those experiences that I was talking about with Ryan walking around. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, seeing so many people there and watching the news and people signing and getting traded and stuff like that. And it's awesome that they have this event every year where kind of the baseball community gets together, and definitely really cool. And that was something we were talking about through our time there.